Just a real quick video today, down and dirty on the installation of the V2 intercooler for GTI, Golf R, and GLI 2015 through current. Sorry, GLI only the Mark 7, so 2019 through current. Anyway, there's some pretty in-depth videos on the V1 installation, so this will be kind of a differences video. You guys that are going to be using this V2 are, I would say, probably more experienced in modding than some of the V1 guys, because basically, you know, your car is pretty serious if you're requiring an intercooler this big. So I'll just get right down to it. So I've got the core sitting here as it'll ship. The mounting brackets are already in place. They're offset to the front of the intercooler, and these will mount to the lower portion of your crash bar. I'll put some pictures in this video as well. So that's already bolted up. You've got obviously the 3-inch to 2.5-inch reducers and associated clamps, as well as the 2.5 to 60 millimeter 2 3/8 reducers for the OEM end of your charge pipes and associated smaller clamps for those, and then the 2.5-inch clamps for everywhere else. It's important that the intercooler gets installed in this orientation, because don't mind my awful aluminum welds. This is the only time I ever weld on aluminum. This bracket is specifically just a spacer to protect the AC condenser lines from the intercooler itself. If you have driveline movement rocking the bottom of the intercooler rearward. So that's just there to protect the AC lines that run right here. These are the mounting brackets. As you'll see in the pictures, pretty straightforward. You put a piece of tape on the center line of the intercooler, mark the center line of your bumper rebar, hold it in place, line those marks, use a Sharpie to transfer these holes onto your car once you're happy with how that's centered, and drill the holes. So before you do that, the part that is a little bit of a pain is cutting the clearance in the crash bar. I've got my notes right behind me, so I can glance at those and give you actual numbers on that. Those cuts are made 9.5 inches from each corner of the bumper, and the actual cut itself is 1.25 inches tall and 26 inches across. So I'll show you a very crude illustration of that here. So like I said, 9.5 from each corner, 26 inches across, 1.25 inches tall. So with that said, a 4.5-inch grinder, which I've got 2 of them here, does not have, even with a new disc, the depth to easily get in there. This is a GLI. This is a piece from the GTI that was cut. So if you've got a 6-inch grinder, that'll make your life a million times easier. You'll be able to just make a nice continuous straight cut. With a 4.5-inch, there's a lot of messing around bending to get out of the way. Also, I'll show you, there is a piece that gets cut off of that bumper as well that supports the hood latch bracket. So that's where this piece comes in. It'll reuse OEM nuts, and then I supply new M6 bolts. That's these gold ones here. I'd honestly have to look at pictures, but basically it sits up here. I mean, it'll be obvious if it goes this way or this way. I'm almost 100% sure it's this way, with the short end facing up. Again, I didn't install one of these today. It was a while ago, and I've only done one of them. So I took my notes on how to make this bracket, and let's see here. Yeah, short side up. So again, these 2 holes will mount to the hood latch. It's got holes in it that'll match up with these. You've got the bolts here. You've got the nuts that you took off of that piece I just showed you that gets cut off. And then, same as before, these two holes get transferred into the bumper rebar, not the intercooler obviously, but the bumper rebar above it, and you drill those two holes so it can bolt into place. That will be shown in the pictures. And just as with any intercooler installation, obviously the factory charge pipes get tossed, these go in their place, and then you're ready to make some big power. So again, if you guys need any further explanation than this, there's a lot more in-depth on removing the bumper cover, the fender liners, all that fun stuff, flipping the horns over, in my previous front mount intercooler installation. It's way back at the beginning of my YouTube channel, or if you search Bond Performance front mount intercooler install, it should pop right up on the Golf Mark 7 forums. There's the written version of that write-up, which I can link in the description of this video. So yeah, if you're watching this video, congratulations. That means you probably bought one of these and your car is probably 500 plus horsepower, which is pretty badass. So looking forward to seeing more of these out in the wild. This one's getting shipped out to go on a Golf R. And there's, as you guys have seen, if you saw the introduction video of the V2 intercooler, there's one living life in Atlanta, Georgia on a GTI as well. So looking forward to those guys putting down some impressive numbers with these. And as I get feedback and data on them, I'll share that. Stay tuned to the channel, subscribe, comment below, and keep an eye out for V3 intercooler development. It'll be about 1,000 horsepower rated core. This one I rate for 550, being super conservative and realistic about you getting results that mirror what a stage 2 car would see with my V1, which would be 2 to 12 degrees over ambient. 666 horsepower like Treadstone rates this for would be a very hot 666, because obviously they're rating at the crank. I rate everything at the wheels, like in the real world. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. For those that will inevitably ask, what you see here ready to bolt on and make some serious horsepower is $1,200. If you contact your local fabricator, they'll laugh at you if you ask them to build one for that price. So I was able to keep the cost down by reutilizing a lot of the kit from the V1 intercooler. These charge pipes are built on the same weld fixture. The bead rolled edge is keeping it from sitting perfect in there, but that saves me a ton of time being able to offer a new product without doing a whole new spell of development. Also, one last tip for you guys that watched all the way to the end that are probably really installing one of these. You might have noticed in one of the photos that I had a piece of weld filler rod propped up on the uncut crash bar. So that's just an easy way to make that mark. It's kind of an awkward thing to measure because you're measuring down inside of a channel. So I just cut, what was it? Yeah, 1.25 inch piece of, it could be anything, a piece of wire, anything you have laying around that's easy to cut. 1.25 inch tall, set it on that ledge and then slide across to make your mark. So yeah, thanks for watching. Comment below if you've got any questions, and see you guys next time.